All right, it's time for the Star Goddess podcast on the Crash and AJ blog at 98rock.com. Myself and Star Goddess, along with Ryan in the studio. AJ remotely broadcasting live from the, what is it called again? What's the name now?
Self-isolation studio.
Ooh.
We're in the quarantine quarters.
Mm-hmm.
The sis.
Soon to be sponsored by Ryan's do-it-yourself hand sanitizer.
It's called Papa Rye's Homemade Hand Sanny.
If he can afford it.
The Papa Rye Studios?
Yeah, right.
What are your studio naming rights, AJ? What are you running these days? How many rolls of toilet paper?
We'll discuss. We'll get over. Exactly.
All right, Star Guys. So it's been obviously an interesting couple weeks.
Oh, yes.
So you've always got something to attach to, what we should expect for the week and stuff like that.
I do. We are in the sign of Aries, and tomorrow is the new moon in Aries, meaning the sun and the moon are both in Aries. And we've all been kind of hanging around for the last 3 or 4 weeks or so. The sun's been in Pisces. Not a whole lot of movement, not a whole lot of surety about what you're doing.
Right.
Well, that all changes tomorrow when the sun and the moon start in Aries. And Aries always means new starts. And even though, we're in sort of limited circumstances, we can still start new things in our life. And I thought my job is to probably tell you where you can do that and have some degree of success with it. So for Aries, the sign that we are in, the new moon in their sign means it's all about the Aries. It's about what the Aries wants, what the Aries needs, what the Aries thinks. And Aries are a sign that are not willing to just sit back. They would rather make a decision. If it's wrong, they'd rather make another one. If that one's wrong, they'd rather make another one rather than waiting to make the perfect right decision. So I imagine Aries are going to be starting more than one thing over the next week or so.
They like to throw stuff up against the wall.
Yeah, throw enough up. Some of it's going to stick, And that's the beauty of having the sun and moon in your sign is it's a new solar year for you. So no matter what, you're going to try and make new starts.
All right.
And I'm all for it. So, and a lot of those new starts, you'll find out how effective they are in July when Mars goes into your sign. For Tauruses, and I have to laugh because the sun and the moon are behind the sign of Taurus. It's a time of taking a step back and kind of retreating and withdrawing and being a little bit introspective. And there you are in your studio.
So you laughing? You laughing at me, Jay?
Actually, I was just remarking that the stars impel, they don't compel. But there you are, kind of isolated. And
I find it interesting because you're saying that we're all starting something new, and with everybody staying at home and everything else that's happening right now, it couldn't be more fitting right now. Yeah,
and I like it that you're finding out that you can have a whole new career and not have to leave home to do it. That's a pretty cool thing.
Starting to get really comfortable
here.
Yeah. A lot of people are having that conversation right now.
Right.
And I think that really is going to be the dialogue this week or so. Once you get into the learning online, you're going to think, well, why the hell should I go to school? You know, and I think schools are going to realize that they can do that, and they ought to charge less for their classes if you're not sucking up their air conditioning or their lights.
My son's already thinking that. He's like stayed up late right now. He's like, why are we doing it?
We're on vacation. Yeah. It's like they went from spring break into summer.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So for Aries everywhere, they want to use this time.
Aries or Gem?
I mean, for Taurus. They want to be able to use this time of Aries to just take a step back and regroup, kind of organize themselves.
Okay.
And then when the sun goes into their sign in 30 days, they'll be fired up and ready to come on out swinging.
All right.
For Geminis, this energy is in the 11th house of hopes, wishes, goals, and objectives. And Geminis have been under the professional gun for the last 3 or 4 weeks or so. And they really haven't had a good plan on how to be the leader of that. And they're going to rely on their well-placed friends and colleagues, mostly their male friends and colleagues, to help the Gemini get what it is the Gemini wants. The Gemini is going to take the group to make what the Gemini wants come true.
I'm excited to hear that the Leo is about to really help out their Gemini friends.
Gemini friends, yeah.
I'm helping
and it's
you with
the group that will help them.
I'm helping him up with a roll of toilet paper already.
That's true.
Ply toilet paper, right?
Single ply, yeah.
It's a really good single ply, though, AJ.
It's a really high quality one.
I think he spritzed this with some aloe. It smells really nice.
But it's good, and they need the help of their friends. And this is the type of thing where they would have a much better result if they do it as a group than they would doing something individually.
Maybe grouping together and making mass production of his hand sanitizer.
I like how you think. I like the little touch of lavender, too.
Yeah, it's really nice,
a nice
right?
scent to it.
Also, here's the fun fact about Gemini. Seeing as we're already 2 people, all you need is one more, and then you have three's company. So that's Social distancing made easy.
Gotcha. Built-in
Is that like
crowd.
New York State style? Is that right?
It's something like that. I'm a Gemini, rising Gemini, so I'm practically 4 people over here.
Yeah. Oh, good Lord. Yeah. You've got a whole crowd by yourself. You go out with another Gemini, you won't all be able to fit in the same room.
No, I
Be
can barely
eight
get a
of you.
word in edgewise.
Yeah. For Cancers, this energy is in the 10th house of career and public standing. Literally for Cancers everywhere, the fight is on. The professional fight is on. Cancers are likely to be challenged as to the path that they're taking or the path that they're on.
Okay.
And Cancers are notorious for wanting to approach things indirectly. And again, the United States is a Cancer. And rather than taking the definitive action that South Korea took, we're kind of like sidling our way up to that type of a thing. But Cancers everywhere, the emphasis is on career and public standing. And they want to lead by example. They want to be assertive and not be aggressive. That's the big challenge for them, to not become aggressive, because nobody likes aggressive stuff. We like assertive stuff.
I like the fact that we've kind of, I know that there's always a lot to be said about how people are handling things, but I think there's the layers of kind of like the shutdown. What was it?
What? Like how it's slowly one thing at a time?
Yeah, like-
are you referring to like closing down the restaurants, then the beaches,
Yes.
Yeah.
things of that nature?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that better than a big slam shutdown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll hop out. But if you put that frog in a bucket of water and then you slowly raise the
Yeah.
heat, it'll sit there and go, I like it. It's like a sauna. So, yeah, that's how we are. But the fight is on for Cancers. For Leos, this is great energy for Leos. They're not having a hard time with this at all. They're like, I like it. I can do this. They're into they all of the things that Leos like to do, they can still do.
Yeah,
It doesn't really slow their roll at all.
I don't mind pulling out the canvas, start painting some stuff now.
Yeah.
Hitting it on the keyboard, the guitar. I mean,
Stuff that you've needed to do that you have
It's
not done.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
you
this
had
is the-
other things going on. Now we don't.
Yeah, it's the great thing about it. How many times are people like, man, I wish I could just have some time to be at home, that I could do this. And
Right.
surprise, be
Yeah,
careful
here
what
it
you
is.
wish
You
for.
got it.
Now
I can
you
organize
got
my music.
overabundance.
Yeah.
Organize your junk drawer.
yeah, the junk drawer is
junk
going
drawer.
down today, man.
Yeah.
It
I wanna
freaked me
see
out
it.
yesterday, but
I
I'm
want
down.
to see a picture of that.
For sure.
Also, legal matters go very favorably for Leos.
Okay.
Contracts, negotiations, they can cut a pretty good deal for themselves.
Nice.
In anything that they're negotiating, they need to keep that in mind.
Hey, Tom Brady.
I'm
Yes, spoken like Tom Brady. Yes, a Leo. Yes.
also negotiating for this hand sanitizer for the toilet paper
Yeah, there
roll.
you
So
go.
this is
I'd
going-
trade one for one.
You crushed that deal, I will say.
For Virgos, this energy is in the 8th house of other people's resources. Virgos are going to find a way to make money on this. They are going to find a way to capitalize on either people being home or they're quarantined or
Ew.
something. But
Screw
I
you,
know,
Virgos.
I
That's
know.
disgusting.
I know, we're really bad. We're very much opportunists, manipulative opportunists. And we're going to try and make money off a calamity. That's how Virgos roll. So.
Bastards.
Yeah, well, they really are. But they really want to find a way to maximize their existing resource rather than looking for new resources.
Right.
They want to find a way to capitalize the ones that they already have going. So. And I hope they're going to be successful with it. So, because being a Virgo, I'm trying to find a way. And I know that my phone has been ringing off the hook. Nothing like a calamity to bring out people wanting to know about their future.
Oh, yeah. I bet you.
Yeah.
Good time for Star Guys.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I kind of like it. For Libras, this energy is in the 7th house of intimate one-to-one relationships and partnerships and open enemies and public image. And there's a lot of activity going on there for them. And they are going to be partnering up with new partners, professional partners rather than, and I'm sure there'll be some personal ones too, because that kind of stuff goes on during a calamity too. But I have to laugh at Bruce Arians, who's looking at forming a new partnership with a new quarterback. That's like getting married. So, and I think that's going to be very, very favorable for both of them. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, I got a feeling. I can't imagine.
If the season goes on, that's my big concern.
Oh, okay.
No, genuinely, that's my big concern, because I was looking at this thinking, that when Saturn retrogrades May 11th, goes backwards, I think that some of the pressure will be off, and then Mars goes into Aries in the summer. And so I was talking to a friend of mine who is pretty well up in the public health area, and I said, well, I think we can get back to work by July 1st, and he burst out laughing.
Oh, really?
So what's so funny about that? I said, well, I just, looking at all the models that, and all the calculations, it's not even going to peak till July or August. And I'm thinking, what about football? What are we going to talk about?
Oh,
That was
man.
my big concern. So I know that's a pretty scary thought. It's one thing to cancel basketball, but football? Wait a minute.
I mean, any of it's bad for me, but because I find myself going, wow, what am I watching? I mean, I was watching ridiculousness over and
Diving?
over.
Is that what you
again.
said?
You know what I was watching yesterday?
High
The
diving.
Cherry Spittin' Championships.
Cherry Spittin' Championships?
Oh,
Yeah.
I watched that, man. I watched that. You could feel them spit some of those things. It was
Somebody
wild.
was doing marble rolling, marble
Yes,
racing.
I saw that too. I'm like, what am I doing?
I thought
with
I
my
could
life?
do that. I could bet on that white marble. Yeah. So, but I think for Libras everywhere, it's their public image does well with this.
Right.
And whatever partners that they take on, I think that they're going to find that the partner brings more to the table than they thought they were getting, which again, I think is really good news for the Buccaneers if they ever play.
Start some new starts. It's all about new starts.
Yeah. New starts, new partnerships. And I think that's the critical thing is that the quarterback and the head coach really need to be able to communicate, and those two do.
All right.
Where I'm not so sure that was the case with our other quarterbacks.
I just want to say it would be the most Tampa Bay thing ever to sign the greatest quarterback of all time just to have him miss out on that first season.
Wouldn't that be awful? Can you imagine all the poor kids that are seniors in college thinking this is my senior year, I'm going to do all this great stuff, and they were sent home mid-semester.
Yeah.
That's what Madden's for, though. That's what Madden's for. Still get Tom Brady in the Bucks
Good point.
uniform in Madden.
As for you collegiate students, sorry. Sucks to suck. Don't know what to say other than that, guys.
For Scorpios, this energy is in the 6th house of work, health, and responsibility. And Scorpios are going to find that even though everything else is shut down, their job's still going to require them to be there. That they're still going to need to make an in-person kind of appearance to do that. And I think the emphasis is on how you can do your job where you're at the most effective way you can is the big challenge for Scorpios everywhere. And it's not a matter of, I don't think that they change their jobs. I think the way it is they do their job changes.
Okay.
And I think the way the workplace is run for them changes, but they still have to go to work.
All right.
Is the thing with Scorpios. I'm not
Hopefully
quite sure.
they like what they do.
Yeah, I hope so, because we need them. For Sagittarians, they just want to play. This energy is in their 5th house of love affairs, children, sports, amusements, pleasures, and they're the ones that are going, I'm on vacation. This is great. It's having a good time. It's a good time
boy.
It's a good time for single Sagittarians to scoop up other people who are not so sure about where their future is.
That's my
it's a
rising,
good time.
right?
Yeah, it's a good time for romantic stuff. It's a good time for fun. Very good time for creative stuff because you're not distracted by other things. And so you really can let your creativity out. Even you said, picking up your keyboard, playing a few licks on your guitar.
I was planning on doing like a patio performance, and I started doing like a little text, group text to everybody for cornhole and then music. And so far, everybody thinks I'm crazy.
Really?
I'm trying to organize everything
Well,
in
that
the
will
middle
change
of quarantine.
tomorrow. By tomorrow, that will change.
Because even with cornhole, your distance, you're far away, but you're then going to end up using the same bags,
Cornhole
having to throw
bags.
those
Just
bags.
Lysol between everything.
Yeah, right.
Right, all the
Every time.
cornhole bags.
I think we can modify that, bring our own bags.
Yeah, bring your own bags.
Bring your own
That's not
bag.
a hard
BYOB.
example.
Still,
Bring
but
your own
what, you have to go
bags.
to what? You just go and switch then every time you
Yeah.
just switch to
Yeah.
a different size.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pick AJ on one, Crash on another. Yeah, we could do that.
We just invented a life hack right on
There you
the
go.
on the
Right
show. All right, awesome.
We're here to help. But anything fun, anything creative, and the love principle also shows up.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah.
Okay.
There'll be a lot of Sagittarians next year, that's
Hey,
for
now.
sure.
That's what I'm talking about.
For Capricorns, they're the ones. This energy for Capricorn is in their 4th house of home and foundations, and Capricorns everywhere are taking a look at their houses, going, "Wow, I'm here. I may as well paint that wall," or "I'm here. I may as well power wash that patio." There's things that they need to do at home that they've kind of been neglecting. It's like, "Oh, I don't have time to do it," and now it's like you have plenty of time and you need to do it. So I just want to tell them to be careful not to start knocking walls down, because that's what happens when you do that kind of stuff. Once you
yeah.
get involved in one project, you go, "Oh no, now I got to do this," or "Oh no, now I got to do that." Like you paint one wall and it makes the one next to it look dingy. So home repairs are on the list of Capricorn things while you're there.
Okay.
You may as well tighten up your home.
If a Capricorn's anything like me, they start repairs and then need
They
to
don't
hire
finish-
someone else
to finish it.
to
Yes.
fix the repairs.
That's why I say don't start knocking down walls. Don't
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
crazy with sledgehammers.
Be
and
hard
stuff
to get
like
someone
that.
in your house to fix that for you right now.
Yes.
yeah.
Or you need help with a light bulb or something, I could put.
You know what, dude? You know what, man? This hand sanitizer deal is done. We're off.
Oh, man.
For Aquarians, this energy is in their third house of day-to-day living and short distance, short duration travel. And this is the kind of thing where you get to take some sort of educational class online. There's some sort of communication that you need to do. And I don't know how, if there's going to be a lockdown, I don't know how they're going to do short distance, short duration travel. But that's in the air for Aquarians.
I mean, there's any kind of lockdown they're going to have, you're still going to be able to travel a short distance for any of this essential stuff that you're going to need.
It's a pretty short
going
distance
to the grocery
from
store, gas station, things of
the
that
living
nature.
room to the bedroom. That's pretty short distance travel.
Yeah. But I think out of all of the signs, Aquarius does the very best with switching to online stuff.
Okay.
And it's going to be really hard to get them to get back to go actually out to go to a job.
Oh,
Once
yeah.
they've learned that they can do this and they can do their job and there's no difference in the job, they will want to do that forever.
Wow.
I think there are a lot of people that are not going to want to leave. They're going to go, this is great.
This is going to change, I think, a lot.
You're going to see a lot more businesses maybe shuttering. You know,
Yeah. The other thing I think it's going to do is make people really appreciate teachers. Teachers, nannies, daycare centers, they're really going to appreciate what those guys go through.
Also, grocery store workers.
Yeah, I thank Publix every time I go in.
For sure.
Thank them just for being there.
The
Truck drivers, that kind of thing.
You can see the difference between certain, I'm not going to say any brand name grocery stores or anything like that, but you see the ones that are starting to get it right and the ones that still haven't quite got it yet.
The ones that stand outside and actually wipe the cart down before you get to it.
Yeah.
Wearing green. Yeah, those guys. Yes. Big fans of that. For Pisces, for them, this energy is in the second house of money. And somehow Pisces managed to, even though you're not leaving home, they will still manage to spend a boatload of money. I'm not quite sure whether they do that with online shopping, but Pisces everywhere have a bunch of expenses coming up. And they're going to be aggressive about it. And I need to say that you need to be able to do a little bit of conservation because it's going to be in Aries for a month and you can't keep spending outrageously every day for a month.
And it's easy to nickel and dime it these days.
It is. Well, you think, it's $5 here, 10, 20, 30, but that all adds up at the end of the day. So they, more so than any other sign, have to be careful with their finances during this 30-day period. So tomorrow's news today, I still am a big fan of make new starts. Make them wherever you can. Life goes on, and sooner or later we'll come out of this, and you just can't put everything on pause.
I'll give everyone a souvenir from my junk drawer today. All right, I'm going to bring everybody a souvenir.
Lovely.
Can I have one of your old business cards?
Yeah, sure, no problem, man.
Thanks, man.
A ton of them in there. All right, Star Goddess, thank you very much.
Always a pleasure.
That's each week right here on the Crash and AJ blog. It's bye, AJ.
Bye, AJ.
See you guys later.
Live
Safe
from her
travels.
studio there. It's every week right here on the Crash and AJ blog at Star Goddess Podcast at 98rock.com.